So what kind of launch vehicles could launch the 330?
The Atlas 5, 452, or any of their family that's equal or larger than that. The Delta 4 could launch that. The Block 2 Falcon 9, I guess they would call the heavy, Falcon 9, could probably launch that because they're looking at that same kind of, we're at 43,000 pounds to LEO, so, and that's without using any of the foreign choices.
Yeah, there's still Proton, and could the Ariane 5 possibly do that as well?
Yes.
Now, for a long time on SpaceX's books, they've had Bigelow Aerospace in the 2013-2014 range.
They have.
Would that be if their Falcon Heavy is successful and debuts, or is that even an official thing that we should even consider?
Well, that came about back in 2003. They were planning their Falcon 1, and then they had a Falcon 5 that most people don't know about on the drawing boards. And we knew that we wanted to fly a Genesis spacecraft, and which ultimately flew, you remember, in '06. Mm-hmm. So they said, well, we will have that Falcon 5 ready sometime in perhaps late '04. So I put down a $500,000 deposit on that spacecraft, on that rocket, and their plans changed. So we didn't have a vehicle to fly our Genesis on at that time, so we had to go find somebody else. And fortunately, we found the Russians. But they've asked me if they could keep us on the manifest and that they would apply the deposit to a future rocket. And I've always told them, okay, fine, sure.
So, not only as a major contributor, but also as an observer to this whole space community, what do you feel in the past year or even the past 6 months has encouraged you the most and motivated you the most towards space? And also, what has also discouraged you?
Well, I think the greatest encouragement that I think I've seen has probably been the success of the Falcon 9 launch, what's about a year ago. Mm-hmm. And discouragement-wise, I think it is the really small amount of dollars that NASA has decided to appropriate. Instead of following the advice of the Augustine Commission, they haven't done that, and they've appropriated far fewer dollars to the CCDEV program than they should be appropriating to that. They certainly have White House support, so it's not an issue that necessarily that they don't have the money. Right now, NASA has more money than they've had in a long time because they still have, the shuttle has stopped flying. The shuttle was about a $6 billion a year component of the $18+ billion a year budget. So last year's budget was about 18.7. Even if Congress cuts that maybe to 17.25 or 17.5, what are you going to do with the other $4.5 billion? So it's not as though they're poor. And so they do have the money, and they should be putting out more money to those transportation folks.